Hey everyone, so today I'm going to be doing our mistake video for the Furry Frenzy collab channel. So as you guys have probably already seen everyone else's videos, and if you haven't, please check those out. We are doing our biggest mistakes. This is kind of part of the Erins Hamster challenge. Now a while back, Erin from Erins Hamsters had kind of challenged all small pet YouTubers to make a mistakes video because everyone makes mistakes. Now before we get into this video, I'm just going to cover a few points and a few disclaimers out there. The first point I'm going to put out there is a difference between both good and bad pet owners. Good pet owners are open-minded. So even though you haven't heard of something or there's new research coming out and you haven't heard of it or known about it yet, you should be open-minded to new and changing events and research and care that is required for your small pet. So a good pet owner is open-minded. You should keep in mind you shouldn't just do anything anyone tells you. You should back it up with research. But if someone has valid research that's recent, that's really good for, that's like you're supposed to do for your pet, be open-minded. Another point is that good pet owners are willing to change. So even if someone's been owning a rabbit and a guinea pig together for like 8 years, they should be willing to change it. There is new research out that says that rabbits and guinea pigs should not live together. So good pet owners are willing to change, which is another point you have to consider. Now, everyone does make mistakes. So when you see someone making mistakes online, everyone should just be nice about it. Don't jump to conclusions. Maybe ask them if you see a guinea pig being alone in a small cage. Maybe you could ask them if they plan on building a better cage or if they plan on getting a friend. Because if you guys had seen if I had recorded videos of when I first got Mara home, I'm assuming I would have people getting very angry at how I was caring for her. But I knew how to take care of her, and it was just taking me time to get there. So some things take time, and sometimes temporary conditions do happen, and people can only house their pets in certain kind of ways for a certain amount of time, and that's okay to an extent. So let's just all be nice with people like that, and let's get started. So the pigs are kind of a mess right now, but this is kind of how they are on like a daily basis. So we're just going to go through the biggest mistakes that we have made. So the first big mistake, let's just start at the very beginning. When I first got Mara, I got her from a pet store. In fact, I also got Mookie and the gerbils from the same pet store. They all came from PetSmart, which is even worse than a pet store. The nice thing about PetSmart is I do know a vet. My Kurt vet actually used to work for PetSmart. They do take good care of animals if they're sick. They feed them Oxbow, they keep them on Carefresh, and keep them in small temporary conditions. Though I hate that I promoted like backyard breeders and things like that. Honestly, every pet needs a home. I wish I could have adopted, and I did look into adopting for both Mookie and the gerbils, but honestly there aren't any really rescues near me, and I was getting really difficult, and Mara was showing more and more signs of depression as well as behavioral issues. So I did get Mara from a pet store. She was all alone in that pet store, and she was alone there for about 2 weeks. All of her siblings got adopted, all of her sisters got adopted. My PetSmart is a all-girls PetSmart, so there are no boy males there. So Mara was all alone for 2 weeks, and she was my ideal dream pig at the time. So I did buy pretty much all of my pets from a pet store. Toby was from a pet store, though I guess you could maybe consider him a rescue, as I did take him out of kind of bad conditions or whatever. And my dog is also from a pet store. The only animal I think we've ever rescued was my cat. And though I really do promote rescues, I volunteer at a rescue, I did get both of my pigs from a pet store. The next thing that happened was when I was getting Mara, I needed to get her a cage. So I was going to call my friend and ask if I could borrow her past guinea pig's cage, who had sadly passed away when she was about 11. I was going to ask for her cage, but could not get contact from her. So I bought my own store-bought cage, which then became Mookie's quarantine cage. It is very small. It's definitely less than a 1x2 grid area. There was barely any room for a hidey hut, and it was horrible. It was probably one of the better cages, not necessarily space-wise, but convenience-wise, I guess, and it was just really upsetting. It cost about $100, and it was not worth it. I wish I got a bigger quarantine cage. So I did have Mara in a store-bought cage until about September. So I got her in February, and she was not into a big official CNC cage until September. Though I did have her in a CNC type cage back in August, which was when we started this YouTube channel. So if you want to see that horrible cage, you can look down below into my god-awful, really early videos and see those. So the third thing I did was I fed unlimited pellets. Now, it wasn't like these pellets were Oxbow pellets to begin with. These were just pellets I had bought from my local pet store, but the local pet store that I go to really isn't that great a condition either. They don't take that great care of their animals or anything like that. And they didn't have the best food. So I was feeding them high calcium, low nutritional pellets with a full bowl. I did not measure how much they ate. I just gave Mara a full bowl, let her sink her paws in it, and call it a day. So the pigs used to have a full bowl of not very good pellets. The fourth thing I'm going to tell you guys is that I did have a temporary single piggy, which kind of piggybacks off of, which kind of goes off of, what I was saying earlier, is that I did have Mara alone until September. So she was alone from February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September. She was alone for 7 months. Now, I did get Mookie back in July, but I did have to quarantine her, and I soon found out that she was ill, and due to vet recommendations, I did have to keep them apart for a while. They were introduced in the first week of September, I believe. Now, the last and final thing that I'm going to say is that they were all pretty spontaneous. Mara was very spontaneous. Though I had been researching, honestly, I've been researching since I was about 9. It really became my passion. I really want to be a animal scientist, researcher, zoologist type thing. I had researched for a very long time, and though I did have Mara in a small pet cage, I knew I wanted to build a CNC cage. It just took me time to get there and to get all my supplies. So I did go into the pet store and get Mara spontaneously, though I do like to consider it not too spontaneous, as I did have knowledge on how to take care of her. I was just missing a few key points. Mookie wasn't as spontaneous. I planned on getting a second pig. I did research. I looked for rescue pigs. And my mom had taken me to a pet store, and then I came home with Miss Mookie. So Mookie's cage was ready, and she really wasn't a spontaneous pig. I did have everything ready for her and have everything planned, and things like that. And the gerbils were also kind of spontaneous, but that's a different story. So those are our 5 big mistakes. Now, we did make a few others. We had salt licks, we put vitamin drops in water, things like that. But those are our 5 big mistakes. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys learned from this video. And I hope you guys aren't scared to not necessarily make mistakes, but to live up to your mistakes as well. Because everyone has made mistakes at one point or another, whether they were a really young child or as they got older. So please keep that in mind. And please, when you watch other people's videos, don't get too upset if the pets aren't being cared for properly. If there could be a valid reason, so don't jump to conclusions. And I hope you guys did learn from this video, and I hope you guys find this whole series enjoyable that the collab is doing this week. And look forward to that weekend guest. It's going to be really awesome. So stay tuned for that, and I hope you guys have a beautiful day. Thanks for watching.